TV Crazy Man here. We took a look at the very first and very strange looking TV sets showcased on General Electric Theater back in the 50s, and then discovered the historic TV battle between Ronald Reagan and James Dean on that same series, with some trivia thrown in at the end that you may have a hard time believing.
What was television like in its early days?
Early days? This episode came out in 1955, so how far back could they go? A couple of years, maybe? Well, hang on. Some of these TV sets that they show are just amazing.
This strange-looking machine is one of the first television sets ever made. And it's the invention of General Electric engineers. And it's 28 years old. Now, here's where the picture was up here. It was only a 3-inch screen, which is pretty small by comparison with today's sets, but it worked. Here. See if I can get a picture so you can see what it was like.
Now, this is what I would have looked and sounded like over this first television set. Obviously, the sound was pretty tinny and the image hard to recognize, but this was the first television.
And was quite a sensation back in 1927. And no wonder. Think of changing a picture into electricity here in this television camera and sending the electricity through the air for miles and miles, and changing the electricity back to a picture in your home, all in a matter of a fraction of a second. Well, that was the beginning of the television age. In 1928, GE brought out America's first home set.
You know, I bet there wasn't a whole lot to watch back then, but did you know there was a show broadcast on September 11th, 1928, called The Queen's Messenger?
Believe it or not.
The picture was seen on this small 3-inch screen. Later in that same year came the first long-distance television. It looked something like this. That's Governor Al Smith accepting the Democratic nomination for president. General Electric engineers relayed the ceremonies from Albany to Schenectady, a distance of 17 miles. But the TV set had a long way to go, and GE scientists were working to improve it. Those first pictures were made up of only 48 lines. You know, the picture scans onto the screen in your set like this. By 1935, GE engineers had managed to design and build a set that would scan 245 lines. The picture was much clearer and began to indicate shadows and grays. By 1940, GE sets were scanning 525 lines, just as they do today. And then in 1946, GE brought out the first aluminized tube, now standard throughout the industry. It took away the glare and made the picture sharp and clear. The picture got bigger, too. From the 3-inch picture in the first set to, well, today General Electric makes some television sets with a 24-inch screen, like this one here.
These days you can get TV screens larger than 98 inches, and if you're really loaded, you might get yourself a 200-inch screen.
Believe it or not.
And television's really getting around. Here's the new GE bedroom TV, the clock television set, that wakes you up to music and pictures. And here we have GE's new portable television set. So light, you can carry it with you wherever you go.
Of course, now we can fit television into our pockets. We just call them smartphones now.
Yes, television's come a long way in a short time. And much of television's progress has come from the research, engineering, and manufacturing skill of the men and women at General Electric.
Just a little quick bit of trivia. General Electric Theater ran from 1953 to 1962. Ronald Reagan served as the host of General Electric Theater.
For General Electric, here is Ronald Reagan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
A multitude of stars appeared on the series, including the Marx Brothers, Bud Abbott, Michael Landon, Jack Benny, and Ernest Borgnine, just to name a few of the many big-name stars that appeared. The one I find the most interesting, though, pits Ronald Reagan up against James Dean.
Tonight from Hollywood, it is my pleasure to appear in a story entitled The Dark, Dark Hours. Young James Dean, one of the bright new actors in Hollywood, appears with me.
Who plays a hood that tries to force Reagan's character to see to his injured partner in crime. Reagan plays the doctor, of course. Now, Dean's character loses in the end, which was inevitable since he was the bad guy. It's interesting to me that not more is made of this historic team-up. To be honest, I don't believe I've even heard of this episode until I ran across it today.
You don't remember either.
The episode is entitled The Dark, Dark Hours, and at the time of the making of this video, you can watch the entire episode on YouTube.
I don't even care, but if I can't be the best, I'm gonna be the worst, huh?
I want you to take your hands off my wife and get out of this house.
Get out of the way.
Sure, I'll get out of the way. But you're going out of here alone, Sonny.
I don't know whether to beat you or kill you. Oh, you hit me. Why don't you hit me?
Because if I started, I don't think I could stop.
Reagan's contract required him to do a lot of public speaking for GE, which gave Reagan experience in front of crowds and helped him hone the speaking skills that would one day make him known as the great communicator. During this time, Reagan became more and more political, pushing for less interference from the federal government on the business world, which may in part have led to his firing from the TV series. Some speculate that Robert F. Kennedy may have pressured GE to fire Reagan, possibly due to politics, which would be very ironic as that may have been the catalyst that sent Ronald Reagan into politics to where he would one day become the President of the United States, from the opposing party, of course.
Believe it or not.
Well, that's all the time we have today on this video. I want to thank you so much for watching. Of course, here on the TV Crazy Man channel, we talk about goofs, trivia facts, and all kinds of cool stuff relating to television and classic movies. Oh, comment and let me know what you thought about this video. It's a little different than usual, but you know, sometimes you just got to go with it. Well, see y'all later. Have a great day.